that down. Let me lower that down. Let me lower that down. Let's see, let me lower that down. Right there. I ain't turn on this light. Bam. Oh, shoot. Oh, no, you don't want to do that, bro. Right there. Ah, that'll work. That might work. Let me do something else here, too. I'm going to open up another tab. And see. I'm telling you, man, this woman is... Did she really do that? Let me see. The Supreme Court ruled 5-4 deportation of Venezuelan nationals. Joined 3. What the hell is wrong with this woman? What is wrong with this woman? Why she always I had a feeling it was her. Yo, bro, what is wrong with this woman? Why she always voting against this guy? What the hell's wrong with this woman? I don't know. I was just going to my oh yeah, I was gonna do something else. Schedule. Okay, he doesn't even want to do that. Let me see the update. Let me go down here. Yeah, bro, she like he voted against this guy, didn't he? They ain't tapped you for the Supreme Court, and this how you repay him? So you don't want illegal Venezuelan migrants, criminal ones, deported. What's wrong with this judge? I'm sorry I'm talking about this now, but I just saw the headline. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? All right, let me go over here. I see something going on over here. Anyway, let me turn over there. I'll stop it right there for a minute. Let me minimize this one. Let me open up OBS. Alright, let me see where's the doc. Chat. I don't know why they open up over here for. Why do they open up over here? Why they do that, bro? Don't do that. Oh my god. Oh my. Are you kidding me? Hey, what are you doing, bro? Okay, I have to sign into the chat. I don't have to sign in with the chat. I don't want to sign in with the chat here. Oh god. Really? Really? I ain't doing that. Let me see if somebody comes on. I'm gonna say hello. Hello. Let me see what happens. Okay, it says hello there. I don't have to sign into the chat. Why would I want to sign into the chat? Yeah, I see hello. I just type hello. Hello, Matthew. So I see Matthew. Okay. So if I go back to the other one. Oh, God. What the hell's going on, bro? If I go back to this one. Okay, I see. Okay, so I don't have to sign in to the chat. What the hell is wrong with this thing? Let me see what happens if I try to sign into the chat. Okay, I'm not going to sign into this. I should have left it alone. Why did I do that? Back. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. Yankees play today. I think they do, yeah. Well, it's Friday. No, it's Friday. What am I thinking? Tuesday. I don't know if they play today. I don't watch them early. I don't watch all baseball season. I don't do that anymore because it's kind of boring. You know, I don't really follow. I know right now they're off to a good start. You know, but right now, like when I see Aaron Judge hitting home runs, I'm like, bro, I don't care about the regular season so much. Do that when it counts in October, and he hasn't done that. So you know, he's hit a bunch of them. I think he hit like 7 now, or 6 or 7 already. You know, it's too early. Yes, I don't really follow. It's too early to follow it right now. Just you know, I usually follow it after. I usually wait right after the All-Star break. Maybe early August is when I really start watching it more. I start paying attention about more. Right now it's too early. Remember last year, they started out really hot, and then they struggled. And then, of course, you know, they had a nice run in the playoffs, except when they played the Dodgers. So, you know. Yeah. And also, like I said, you know, I want to see him do this in the postseason. You know, yeah, it looked like he's going to have a nice, another good season. So far, knock on wood, if he doesn't get hurt or anything. But, I don't really care about the regular season. I want to see it in October. You know, enough with the MVP season. I get it. He's going to hit 50 home runs again. I don't. Bring me another World Series to New York City. That's what I care about. At this point, I don't care about the 61 home runs and all that other nonsense. I really don't care about that anymore. You know, so I'll leave it at that. Hello, Edgar Melendres from Argentina. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Hello, November 2. November 2, Charlie Oscar Delta. And hello there. I'm going to just open, let me see. Yeah, I'll leave it on OBS because OBS seems to, you know, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to tune the bands a little bit, but before I do that, I wanted to talk about, now I know I have to bring back OBS. Yeah, OBS. Okay, let me see something. Yeah, let me do this. Because I made a video last night about it on this radio, of course. So I upgraded to 1 point of about a few days back. I upgraded to 1.10 because that one I saw it had a nice RDS. Now, I don't pay attention to this wall. I know it's plaster or whatever. I know it looks like crap, but however, I was playing around with it. It was kind of glitchy. I'm fixing the antenna, so don't mind me. Let me put the antenna like. Let me talk about it for a few minutes before I start tuning. So I upgraded to 1.10. because that one, I saw somebody screen had the RDS really nice. You're scrolling and everything. It had a lot of information on the screen. But when I updated that, when I upgraded to 1.1, it wasn't that. I guess the person that's posting the video on the Facebook group doesn't want to provide the link for that one. So anyway, so when I upgraded 1.1, it looked okay. I didn't like the menu too much, you know. So I went back to 1.8. Okay, did I just turn it on or I turned it off? Oh, so I went back to version 1.08. 1.08. That's the one I went back to. Let me just put if I put the thing down here and then let it focus. That way I don't have to, you know. There you go. So I went back to that. Let me put it on let me put it on medium wave. So I put it back on anyway. So I went back to 1.08 because 1.1 is not working right. But the problem is when I try to put the firmware back in, when I had it at 1.1, it didn't want to let me. I was getting an error. Right? I was getting a no log file output error. It didn't want to update. So I was stuck with 1.1. I was stuck with it. So I went to the Facebook group and there's another forum. So basically, I found a PDF file. It's in that Facebook group, by the way. There's a PDF file. So basically, you got to open up the radio, right? There's 4 screws. You take out the screws, and there's gonna be 2 little buttons inside the board. There's 2 little buttons in the board. One says reset. One says boot. So if you read the PDF, they were saying to press the boot button and press the reset button and then let go of the reset button. It was like a combination or something. That didn't work for me because I tried to run the what they call the file download tool or something like that. I tried to upgrade it. It kept giving me that log error, not log output error. I kept getting that. So what I did is I had my radio connected to the computer USB. I turned it on. Like right now it's on. You can barely hear it is on. While the radio was open. And I just pressed and hold the reset button for about like 2 or 3 seconds. And it rebooted. And then I ran the firmware again. And this time it went through. I was able to go back down to I was able to update the firmware back to 1.08. So, so I don't recommend anybody updating to 1.1. I don't recommend it because, I could do it because now I know how to go back to, I know how to fix that error now. But if you don't know how to fix that error, or if your radio doesn't have those 2 buttons, because they're inside the radio. At first, I thought it was just press and hold. I'll show you. I'm going to try it anyway. I thought it was just press and hold this. But that doesn't do anything. Okay? I thought it was press and hold this button. But it's not that. You got to open up the radio, and there's 2 little tiny buttons. One says reset, one says boot. I tried different combinations and it didn't work for me. So the way I did it is I just had this hooked up to the computer, USB to the computer. I had the radio on. Of course, I had the radio open. And there's a little reset button in there. And I just press and hold that button down. And it was able to reboot the radio. But the more important thing, I was able to use the file. I was able to put back another firmware in here, because if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to add another firmware after 1.1. It's going to give you that error, and it kept giving me that error. And I thought I was stuck with this radio with 1.1, but I fixed it. So now I'm back to 1.08, and that's what I'm going to stay on. You could go up to 1.09. Basically it's the same thing. You know, I did notice a couple of things about the 1.09, 1.08. If you go to the menu, I'm going to go to the menu. You see there's no more seek up, seek down. Right? There's no more seek up, seek down. It's in the hardware actually. Okay, so seek up, seek down. Let me go to band. Let me just do this. Let me just get out of this. When you want to scan now, you got to press and hold it and go down, or press and hold, go up. Okay? That's all you do now to scan. You got to press the button down, and if you want to go down, wait. It takes a little practice. Press and hold, and then go turn it. Press and hold and turn it. Press and hold up. Wait. So the bands are pretty crowded, but you press and hold, and then just turn. You see? Okay? So that's what you do. You just press and hold. Press and hold, and then turn down if you want to scan down. Press and hold if you want to up, if you want to scan up. That's basically what you do. It doesn't work well with the AM band because it's very crowded. But like if you're on the shortwave band, where there's a lot of gaps and stations, let me try it out. Actually, I'll try it on shortwave. So let me go back to band. Let me go to shortwave. I go to shortwave 1, right? Let's try it on shortwave 1. So I'm going to press and scan up. See, it takes practice. Oh my God. Because I press it and hold it. All right, that's what you do. You press it and hold it, and then just turn it. You see how it's scanning? So you press and wait. Oh, sorry. Come on. Press and then just turn. That's what you do. Okay, so there's no more scan up and down in the menu. It's in the knob, in the hardware. Okay, understand? I'll make a separate video on that, because people ask me about the scan. Like, what happened with the scan? Let me go back to that. So people ask me about that. That is no longer in the menu, because there was a scan up and a scan down in the menu. But now you just got to press the knob and hold it and then go up. If you turn up, it goes up. It scans up. If you press and hold and turn down, then it's going to scan down in the band, whatever band you're in. Okay? So I just want to make that clear, because somebody just asked me that earlier about they got rid of the scan function. No, they didn't get rid of the scan function. You don't have to go back to the menu to scan. Now you can do it through the knob. And hello, N2COD from Western New York. Yeah, not a lot of radio stations. So, yeah, I'm doing a combination of both. I'll do some scanning, but, I just want to talk for a little while, too. Because I'm trying to put out videos every day or every so often. Google's been very generous with the algorithm, so you gotta keep posting videos. When you don't post videos for a while, that's when you get punished. Right now, my channel's been doing better, thanks to you guys. I wish more people would share my videos. That would be nicer. Like depending on what group you're in, share my videos. I'll give you guys permission to share my videos on other groups. I don't care. So, you know, it's been good for the last month or so. About a month, it's been good. I have like, 21,000 views this month on my videos. This past month, about 21,000 plus. 160 something subscribers in the past 4 weeks. It's pretty good. Normally, I average about 40, 30, 35 to 50. It's a good month, like 50. Right now, I pretty much over 163 or something. I know a lot of it is because of these videos. The color scheme update one and the other update video and the unboxing. So this radio, as you know, people are discovering my channel more because of this radio. And the Facebook group now, I'm in that Facebook group. When I started that video, my first update video, that Facebook group had 95 people. As of this morning, it just hit 400. I believe, I know it was at 399 this morning. The Facebook group for this radio. It's a public group. So right now I think it's at 400. I could check actually. You know what? I could check. I open up this file. And I go to Facebook. And I go to SI 402. There you go. I'll drag it over here and I'll show you guys. There you go. Like that. As you can see, 402 as of today. And then, of course, some people had issue with the inverted screen. Some people had issue with that. Yeah, this guy posted another one. You see, he had the inverted screen. And I posted my video here from last night. So my video is posted here on the Facebook group. And then, of course, somebody was using this with FT8. So somebody was decoding. See, this one has a Wi-Fi. Mine, I don't think had the Wi-Fi chip. I tried to look for the Wi-Fi chip inside mine, but mine doesn't have the Wi-Fi. This one has the Wi-Fi built in. So his radio had the Wi-Fi. So depending on what type of this radio you get, you might get the one with the Wi-Fi. And then, of course, again, somebody with the inverted screen, mirror screen, they call it. And see, I was trying to get this one. I was trying to update it today. See the RDS on this one? So I was trying to get that one, but the one I have, version 1.11. I mean, 10 didn't do that. So I guess that's Abdullah, by the way. Abdullah. Yeah, Abdullah. I guess he's going to post this one soon, and maybe I'll upgrade to this one. But, you know, I'm going to wait and see. So this is another one that... And hello, Elmer Time. I hope you're doing well. Could use a couple of more subscribers. I'm going to start making videos every day. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. You know, I'm trying to be on every day. Video or something. It's, you know, it's hard to be on every day when, you know. Excuse me. I would have been out there today, but it's so windy outside today. It's very windy today. We're going to get rain tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Hello, James Farley. Hope you're doing well. So this is the RDS one. Let me see.
This is Simon Hane. den würden viele nicht von der Bettkante schubsen. Robbie Williams, Forbidden Road. Mädel Skinner, morgen ist großer Streiktag in The Land, vor allem beim öffentlichen Nahverkehr wird es tatsächlich ungewöhnlich. Aber damit die Radio Regenbogen Community weiß, was da auf sie zukommt, gehen wir es mit unseren regionalen Reportern einfach mal durch. Fangen wir an mit Matthias Wagner in der Rhein-Neckar-Region.
Hier bleiben morgen früh ab 3 Uhr die Straßenbahnen der RNV stehen. Trifft alle Standorte, also in Mannheim, Edingen-Neckarhausen, Heidelberg, Ludwigshafen und Bad Dürkheim. Auch der RNV Busse und Grenzschrank ist die Wagen auch nicht. Wenn da muss man zum Transfer auf andere Regionalbuslinien und S-Bahnen umschwenken. Die fahren nämlich.
Wie sieht's zum Beispiel in Karlsruhe aus?
Ja, also die gute Nachricht zuerst.
See the two buttons are right there. You see the two buttons? So when you open it, there's two buttons right there. One is this the boot one, this is the reset. So I had mine connected, USB. I had it on, right? You turn it on right here. And then I press and hold this button for like, I think it was like 3 seconds. And I was able to fix that error that I was getting. But I don't know if this one has Wi-Fi. It doesn't say Wi-Fi. Well, I looked at mine. Mine doesn't say Wi-Fi anywhere. So, let me see. Can I see that one? Well, that's the screen. That's the rotary knob right there. That's the battery. I know James Farley was asking me about the battery. There's the battery right there. It's an 800 milliamp hour battery. That's a speaker. Right here, there's a speaker. Okay. There's the board. See, the two buttons are right there. See, the boot and the reset. Now, there's some radios that don't have this. I don't know. I saw that on another posting that some radios may not have these two buttons. If that's the case with you, then you're gonna have to solder these two buttons. You're gonna be out of luck. But most radios should have these two buttons inside, and that's gonna enable you to reset the radio. There's also a PDF. There's also a PDF manual on the Facebook group. Over here. You see this one says Wi-Fi, and you have that Wi-Fi thing. So I don't have this chip. Mine is the WR whatever room, something like that, room. So this is the one with the Wi-Fi. You see, you get the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and you have the little Wi-Fi, and you can plug in the Wi-Fi. I guess the antenna right there. Really? I have to look. I don't know if I might have this because my chip is not this one, N16. I have to open it up and check. Mine don't look like this. Believe me, I was looking for the Wi-Fi. I opened it up and I didn't see this. See 802.11BGN. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Every single ESP32 has Wi-Fi. No, I don't know. Mine is not even this one. I have to. I'm gonna open mine up. I'm gonna open it again. I'll open it again. I can't pronounce your name, so I'm gonna say Numa Tice. I'm just gonna say Numa. Sorry, I'm not gonna try to butcher your name. But only ESP32 without any additions like S3 support classic Bluetooth. I have to open my. I'm gonna open them, but I know mine's not this. I know the number is not this one. He's not N16RA. It's something else. It's like WR. Let me go check the group. I'll tell you right now. You know what? I'm gonna Google it on this side. Let me minimize this. Let me come here. I'm gonna put ESP32. S3. Yes, this one. Let me see. I think it's this one. I'm gonna have to drag this. I'm gonna have to see if I can drag the. I wish I could make that bigger. Let's see what happened. Oh, for the love of God, what's with the slow ass shit? Okay, can you see that? Oh my God, what is going on with this thing today? And that's the one I have. I have this one. I think this is the one I have. I don't know about the pin part, but this, I know it's W room, whatever. I know it's this one. That's the one I have. So you don't see there's no Wi-Fi. You see there's no Wi-Fi? So you're wrong. Sorry, bro. Wrong. I'm just joking, bro. Don't take it personal. No, but anyway, mine does not have Wi-Fi. Believe me. No, it doesn't. And there's no connector. There's nothing on mine. Believe me. So yeah, sorry to burst your bubble on that. But thank you for giving me hope that it had Wi-Fi on it. Believe me, mine don't have Wi-Fi. Cause I wanted mine to have Wi-Fi. I was like, man, can I get Wi-Fi on mine? So yeah, sorry about that. Don't mean to burst your bubble. Well, yeah, you know what? I didn't, it didn't occur to me. I should scan the QR code. Yeah, I could do that. I'm gonna open mine up. I'll make a video on mine. I'll open it up. I need to put my camera. I need to put my phone on a mount, and I'll zoom in with 4K, of course, 4K video. But definitely mine is not this one. That's the point. That mine is not this one. See, this one has the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi, and you see the connector right there. That's for the Wi-Fi antenna. The Wi-Fi antenna is just a little wire that goes there. That's a little what do they call that? MCX. That looks like an MCX. I'll show you what an MCX is. You see this connector right here? This wire. You see that tiny little. I can zoom in there. I'll show you. Anyway, something like this. If this goddamn thing can zoom. Anyway, this is MCX. So. Yeah, so mine doesn't have Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, bro. Believe me, if it would have had Wi-Fi, I would have said it. I'm going to double check. I'm going to go through it like a fine-tooth comb again. I'll make a video on opening mine up, and I'll show you what I have inside. But definitely mine is not this one. Mine is the WR, W room or WR OOM-1. So basically, mine is ESP32-S3-WR OOM-1, something like that. The one I just showed you. That's the one I have, not this one. And some people say that they don't have the buttons. There's some that may not even have the buttons. Mine does have the buttons, so thank God for that. Okay. And of course I have Phillips screws. Mine has Phillips screws. These are the Allen wrench, whatever. This connector is probably not connected. There's a capacitor in a shape solder mask which routes the signal through zigzag. Oh, well, yeah, that too. I know you're talking about like the something like what do you call that? It's like in the you say zigzag, like inside the case or the board, or anyway. Maybe that's the case. So you see how this one is. All right, you're talking about like this right here. You're talking about that right there, right? Numa. You talking about that? The antenna? That's the antenna right there. It's soldered. That's what he's saying. Okay, there you go. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Kind of like the, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So that's the antenna. So you don't need it here, you got it here. It's soldered into this, this area. Okay, good. Hello, Tasso. I hope you're doing well, my friend. So this one is, yeah, so I had to look at mine, but I know mine doesn't have the, because I didn't see this. It was just, and I didn't see the, the Wi-Fi. And I don't want to open it now because this camera is horrible. This camera cannot zoom for the life of me. So, okay, so this is the antenna, okay. All right. So there you go. There you go. Let me go back over here for a minute. All right. That's pretty cool. Let me see. I don't miss anything else. Let me go back down here. Let me go back over here, man. Let me go back down here. Sorry, I'm scrolling fast, but just want to show you the 3D. Cause I'm looking into getting a 3D printed case. So there's a 3D printed case right here. You can do a 3D printed case. Yeah, I know. It's nothing interesting on the radio right now. So I said, let me just talk about this. Yeah, I'm trying to incorporate both. For example, if people want to see my ugly mug, hey, there we go. See, because I don't want to shave all the time. I didn't shave, so I have like a. So I don't feel like shaving every time I have to come on and do a live. So I say, you know what? Hey, people take a break from seeing my face. So, of course, that's my video there. Oh. You know. So this is the one I updated to, and this is the one that kind of wrecked it. So yeah, so this is the one that I had, 1.1. So that's the one I had.
Kendisini bekliyor olacak. Tabii Süper Lig'in
Milliyetçi Hareket Partisi Genel Başkanı Devlet, terörsüz Türkiye hedefinin gerçek olacağını söyledi. Devlet Bahçeli, tüm vatandaş her şeyden önce Türkiye ve
taşma tempo olarak
amacıyla yaptığı uyarıları subay
oldukça kalabalık bir grup var. İlgili tüm yolu sözleri
Ben bundan yazdım ama
sana bir gün
The white goes all the way down here. Anyway, so that's that one. Scan feature, you gotta use now. Actually, this one, I know actually this one, no, this one actually, this is 1.1. So you see right here where it says scan? You can either leave it like that, scan, or you can switch it to manual. If you put it on scan, all you do is twist the knob and it scans up or scans down. So this is 1.1. This is the one I had before, but this one I found it kind of glitchy in a couple of things. And this is the one that, like I said, I got stuck on that log error issue. So I had to reset it and go back to 1.08. But this is 1.01. I mean, 1.10. So this is the one that's still, kind of glitchy. But it kind of changed the font a little bit. It kind of looks nice right here. I like this thing. But you don't get the colors. You lose the colors, the color scheme, because this is a different screen altogether. And this battery indicator doesn't update. That's the other glitch about this one. The battery, it always stays at 0. Even if you fully charge it, it stays like that, 0. That's what I didn't like about it either. Okay, so this is the version 1.10. But I don't recommend this one right now because this is the one that I couldn't update after that, and I had to do the reset from the inside. Open the radio and do the reset. And this one, you don't have the color scheme. There's no color scheme on this one. All right.
Thank you. 605, 605, Papa Alpha Charlie Alpha Delta. If you want to do it. 1010. Oscar Tango 10, 59606. 440, thank you, Georgia.
Numa, you could Download our Arduino. Set it up for ESP32 S3 opener. Example, Wi-Fi sketch. Yeah, I'm not doing all that. It's okay. I'm not doing all that. You know, at the end of the day, it's a $20 radio. I mean, it is amazing that it does. It's amazing that it's open source. Let me turn it off because I don't want to kill the waste battery. I mean, it's amazing that it does all these things. And that's why I like these little radios like this, because, you know, you can put different firmware on it and things like that. So, you know, it makes it cool for that. You know, if you want to tinker with it and all that, you can. That's why I like this group. A lot of people doing different things with it. I have to stand up and stretch here for a minute. Let me try to zip my sweater up. All right. There you go. Okay. So you see it does have RDS. Some people are asking about that. Alright, so there you go. Please make your web browser quieter. Sorry about that. And then somebody did this. So I guess they drilled a hole on this side. And there's a Bluetooth. This is a Bluetooth transmitter. That's what this is. So. Alright, anyway, there you go. Interesting. Anyway, let me move this over here. And I'll minimize this one. This is there we go. Anyway, that's Chrome. I'll close that. Alright, let's see what's going on now. By the way, I'm using the MFJ-1886 loop with my RSPdx. He's pointing east to west. He's right outside. It's ground level. Maybe about a meter and a half off the ground. MFJ-1886 loop. The MFET is just too noisy. So I had to use the MFJ-1886 loop. Oh, it's really bad today. Holy moly. It's really bad today. Oh man, I didn't know it was this bad. I was doing some FT8 earlier, but wow.
When the saints go marching in. your reservations for this Sunday service, call 1-800-338-3030. That's 1-800-338-3030.
Jesus, it's up there, I see Paul and Silas too. They're gonna walk around, all around, whole street, with the glory, hallelujah, when they sing.
I'm gonna have a fast Bandscan today. Nothing is good today. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have a real quick Bandscan today. Oh my God. Man, this is really bad today.
A word of news in just one language on prtvotword.com.
Wow. Yeah, it's really bad. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not doing the web browser right now. I'm doing my radio now. Anyway, man, God, conditions are really like suck.
Today is description. And these things were done.
Okay, yeah, it's really bad. Wow. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just stop it. I'm just gonna stop it for now. This is bad. Wow. Holy moly. Oh my God. Let me see where I'm at right now. Let me see where I'm at. I'm sorry about this, folks, but yeah, it's really bad. Let me see where I'm at right now. 54 minutes. Wow. Really bad. Let me see what I can do here. Yeah, I don't want to see Amy Comey Barrett, man. She's really fucking disappointing. Sorry. Wow. I didn't know she voted against him last night. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna sign in. I'm not gonna sign in. Let me see. Quenching. I'm doing something before I drag it over there. TK11. Let me see the TK11. Oh, it's not on sale yet. Anyway, let me put it right here. Quang Shang. TK11. Let me just show a picture of it because I know MFJ-1886 was looking at this one And I was kind of looking at it too, but then I saw something and I really wasn't a fan of this thing. Let me see if I put that picture up. I'll put that one up here. I see the Quang Shang. View image. Can they put it like this? Okay, the Quang Shang. There you go. So, anyway, this is the radio that is coming out soon. I already contacted Radtel to send me the RT860, right? So this is the one that MFJ-1886 is talking about that is coming out soon. It looks interesting too. He's the Quang Shang TK11, but he got that gorilla thing. It reminds me of G-Storm. My G-Storm radio. Let me bring it away to G-Storm. Let me see if that gorilla is the same thing. I wonder if it's the same. The same company that makes the G-Storm. Oh no, it's not. It's not. Now I'm looking at it now. It's not. That's a different gorilla. You see, this is the G-Storm. You see the gorilla? The G-Storm. This is the G-Storm. So I thought the gorilla was like that one, but it doesn't look like that one. Anyway, I'll put it right here in the background. I'll put the G-Storm right there. The G-Storm. But anyway, so that's why I was looking at that gorilla. I said, no. But it's not like that one. That one is totally different. It's a Taikyo. Or Taikyo. Taiko, right? How you pronounce that? Taiko. So anyway, this Quang Shang, I know M0FXB made a video on it earlier, and I agree with him. This radio is basically. Let me bring my Quang Shang over here. Let me go get my Quang Shang. So that's why I wish my Ready Dexter wasn't here. But anyway, because I had a feeling, and he kind of thinking the same way I was thinking about it. This is the K5, right? Quang Shang K5. Let me put the camera right there. Quang Shang K5. Let me push it up a little bit. And put it right there. Okay, so that radio, this radio here, is basically this radio with the SI4732 chip in it. Or the 4730, is it 34 or something? Anyway, I'm going to say SI4732. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's fine. But, you know, because this one, the K5, there's a software mod that brings it down to 17 megahertz all the way to 1 gigahertz, blah, blah, blah, blah. If you want to put this radio into down to longwave, you're going to have to open it up and you're going to have to put a little daughter board. And that one has the SI4732 chip in it. So this radio here is basically this radio with the chip in it. Okay? And I suspected that. So he said that. M0FXB. So when he said that, I said, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is this radio, is the K5 or the K6 with the chip for the HF. Okay? So, And this radio is not. Yeah, it is for receiving. That's another thing. You're getting ahead of me now. No, you're getting ahead of me. Because somebody asked that too. Can you transmit on CB band and all that? No, you can't, because the SI4732 is for receiving only. Thank you for reminding me about that. But yes, you cannot transmit on the. So the HF portion of that radio, you're not going to transmit on. You can't. Because the SI4732 chip is for receiving only. So, as much as I like it, it seems like a nice radio, I'm going to pass on this radio. The other thing I'm not a fan of this radio was this connector right here. This is a medium wave, long wave, short wave antenna. It's a 3.5 millimeter jack in here. That's it. It's not an SMA connector. It's just a 3.5 millimeter jack. When I need one, I can't find one around here. Jesus Christ. 3.5 millimeter jack. Anywhere, folks. So that antenna for HF is a 3.5 millimeter jack. It's not an SMA. It's a 3.5 millimeter jack. Okay? I don't like that. I don't like the 3.5 millimeter jack. I don't like that. I prefer an SMA. Yeah, you can get an adapter, like for example, in other words, like the donut antenna, you're going to have to get an adapter. So SMA to 3.5 millimeter jack. That's another reason why I'm going to pass on this radio. And the price. This radio is above $60-something. I think $68 when it's supposed to be around $68. The Radtel, you can get that for about, I forgot the price on AliExpress, I have to check. And there's also another one from iRadio. It's basically the same radio as a Radtel. It's I think that 980 or something like that. But remember, all of them have one thing in common. You're not going to be able to transmit on HF. Only VHF, UHF, you're going to be able to transmit. But on HF, no. No. You're not going to be able to transmit. And it does say here 25 to 29, that's FM. So, okay. You see right here where it says 25 to 29. Now, yeah, if somebody asked about that too, that's FM, and that part is going to be on the Quine Shank side. That's not the SI4732. Okay? So that transmitting part, he's not going to be single sideband. He's only going to be FM. So, in other words, you're not going to be able to do anything with it unless you're going to transmit CB on FM. And again, that's not the 4737. That's not the SI4732 portion. That is the original K5. The original K5, well, I don't know. I never really tried it. But, yeah. So, if you look at this radio and you're thinking you're going to be able to transmit on, for example, I don't know, whatever. 10 meters. Single side, no. 20 meters, no. That's just receive only. Okay, so when you see the single sideband, that's all receive only. So, I know when people look at it right away, they think that you're going to be able to, 10 watts on HF. Oh my God, I can hook this up and do some FT8. No, you're not going to be able to. Because it's not going to, you can't. All right, so just receive only. And I think at the price point for this one, let me drag this over here. I think at the price point of that one, Is it the 890? Yeah, but you know, at this point that I have plenty of radios that do that anyway. So, you know, including my 460. I mean, my RT470X does all that. Does the you know, the GMRS, the MERS. I can do MERS. You know, so you know this one can do it too. But you know, at this point, that's why I say that this radio, you know, it's, you know, it's okay. I'm gonna pass on this one. And they also have this voice thing here. So, you know, but I'm gonna pass on it. Is it 980? That's the one I'm talking about. Let me see if it's a 980. No, it's not this one. Oh, let me go back. So the one I was looking into was the 860. Let me close this one. So that's the one I was looking into. The 860. But again, the same thing. Remember, you're not going to be able to, you see, you're not going to be able to transmit on, what is it? You know, it's the same thing. It's basically the same thing too, by the way. Well, this one, the price is $34 as opposed to $68. And this one has a SMA. This has a SMA connector. So if you want to hook up like the donut antenna as you see here, you see the donut antenna, you can do that for the HF. All right. So I mean, it's not 10 watts output, but who cares? Because receiving, you know, for receiving, you know, it's gonna be the same thing. So you know, I know this one had guy, you know, some people hype this one up, but I'm gonna pass on this one because this is like $68 or something, and the and this one is $34. And Rata has their own firmware. You know, they have their own proprietary firmware. You have to go to their website and download any firmware. Just like the 470. Let me bring my 470. You know. This is the 470.
Welcome. Channel mode.
So that's the 470X. And this one they sent me to review a few months back. So I like this. I like this one. And by the way, the coin shines also, you know, like 2 meters. It kind of splatters. And this one is much cleaner. The Ratsa is much cleaner. This one and the this one and the actually that if I key on 2 meters, I'll kill the live stream right now because it'll interfere with my USB. Literally, I'll kill the live stream. I'll kill the webcam. So yeah, this radio is you know, of course I only use it for receive only. Basically, I don't transmit with this because I have better radios to transmit on, including the Baofangs. My DMR radios are much better. So I was looking at this one, but I already contacted them because they wanted to send me another Another Radtel, it was a FRS radio. I said, no, I don't want that radio. If you're going to send me one to review, send me this one. Send me this radio. I want to review this one. So they say that when it's back in stock, they're going to send me one. And, you know, I'm not going to hold my breath on it, but then I can review this one. I'll review this one. We'll see. But this one I'm definitely not going to buy. When I saw the 3.5 millimeter, I just don't like that. That's nice for Texan, you know, PL 360 and all that other stuff. But I don't like this on I don't like it. But that's the area where, you know, this radio is supposed, you know, I drop this radio, that connection will break, and that's the end of that. I prefer the SMA connector there. Plus, I want to use it with my donut antennas, so this is not going to work for me. And of course, you know, what he covered, M0FXB, what he covered on his video, that, you know, you're not, you know, because a lot of people think that you're going to be able to transmit single sideband on 10, 11. No, you're not going to be able to. Because that's, you know, only on FM. And I believe CB and, yeah, I believe CB, that's it, I think. It says here 25 to 29.8. But that's all going to be FM only. That I know. I believe FM only. But he, you know, again, he didn't have one in his hand. So, but early, you know, early people reports are that this is not going to be, and it makes sense because, you know, again, the SI4732 chip is probably in here, or another similar chip. I forgot the other one. I think he said 4734 or something. I forgot the exact number. But I suspect that, like this one, like the hardware mod for this one is a 4732 chip. You put in this one to basically turn this one into this one. And that's what you're basically doing. Yeah. So at that price point, I am not getting this radio. I'm gonna pass on this radio. I think my RSPdx is waiting for this one to come out. And then there's one more radio that I want to cover. And let me see. I'll cover that radio. I think is the, let me bring it over here. I don't like to search and then something comes up, and then I think it's the iRadio. The iRadio, is it this one, UV98? Yeah, the iRadio. Yeah, this one. So this is the other one that people are talking about. He seems to like, out of all of them, he seems to like this one, the iRadio. And this one you can monitor, it has 3. You see how you got HF on this one, and this one is VHF, UHF. It's very similar to the other two. Try PTT. I got all this stuff here. You can read all that. I don't know if you can see all that. So this one looks interesting out of all of them. It's $60 though. Now at that price point, I'd rather go for this one. You know, Rattel, we already, you know, but I may want to try this one. The iRadio, you know, they do have a package here. Let me see. Well, I'm going to have these antennas anyway, but let me see. So standard US $61 and okay. So you'll get the okay, so that's the radio with charging. What kind of battery this has on it? Let me see. Does it have the specs here? No, there's no specs here. Let me go. All right, okay. I'll go back to. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is another one that I was looking into also. All right, let me see now how we doing here with the. All right, 1 hour 16 minutes. Okay, that's not bad. So it's interesting. They got all these radios. I mean, the good thing about these radios, they are raising the bar. That's a good thing about these radios. They are raising the bar for Now I'm all over the place now. Okay, here. I'm gonna close this one on this side. Close this one on this side. Okay, let me go over here. Yeah, so that's a good thing about these radios. They are raising the bar on these handhelds. Like they're adding all this stuff now to the handhelds. I don't know about this one also, the firmware on this one. I don't know if it's and then there's another version of this radio coming out soon, which is gonna have the. Is it this one or the Radtel? It's gonna have the GPS. And maybe DMR. Which that would interest me. A DMR radio, a radio like this, and had DMR on it. Even though I have 2 DMR radios, and I do like my 1701, and I don't want to pay $300 for any tone. Yeah, I don't really want to pay $300+ for any tone. When my 1701, DM 1701 does a good job. I get good audio reports on it and everything. So there you go. All right. So let me close this up here. Let me close this up here. Yeah, I'm gonna try again. It sounds better now. Conditions were like not horrible earlier. So at least let me do a little scan from here and down to. Now I'm using the MFJ-1886 loop. My infrared right now, of course, I have it hooked up to the my Yaesu. So I said, let me do an MF-1886 loop, little scan. Sounds better now.
Pois fomos criados desde pequenos para acreditar em uma trindade e a orarmos a Jesus. Quando criança, nossas primeiras orações foram dirigidas a Ele. Cantamos sobre seu amor e seu sacrifício. As palavras atemporais da doxologia terminam com louvado seja o Pai, o Filho e o Espírito Santo. E ainda em tudo isso, a verdade sobre seu amor infinito pelos pecadores e os sacrifícios que ele fez se perdem em toda a adoração que recai sobre o Filho. E esse mal-entendido sobre o papel de Yahushua, bem como sua natureza, nos prepara para os enganos de Satanás no tempo do fim.
Você diria que os cristãos cometem idolatria no decorrer de suas vidas ao venerarem o Salvador?
Com certeza, porque não é apenas mostrar respeito, amor e gratidão. É dar a ele a adoração que é devida somente a Yahweh. Idolatria é definida como mais do que apenas a adoração a ídolos, mas também inclui em sua definição a devoção cega ou excessiva a alguma coisa. Bem, quando você muda...
The true issue today is churches are not involved in the public square that surrounds them. However, the truth is the community of Christ
Of the dots that I've probably read in a long, long, long time.
Eu gosto.
He doesn't play in the realms of the usual left-right paradigm, so you kind of got to understand where he's coming from, but he will tell you why. We've all been tied by the thesis antithesis current show that folks have created to keep us mentally and emotionally occupied so that we don't notice the harm that's really going on. And on that note, I wish you all God's blessings, be well, and I'll chat with you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us along with today.
Canada. Coordinated universal time, 22 hours, 58 minutes. That's good.
RSPdx. You would mail to RSPdx. P.O. Box 163. P.O. Box 163, Hershey, Nebraska. Zip code 69143. Again, thanks for listening.
Oh, very noisy. Holy moly. Ugh.
Eyes wide open.
Yep. An extremely high reflective power on it, and it kept kicking out the amp, so I switched to my inverted B.
Good luck on that, my friend. I think we got it for 40 degrees today. It was 70 degrees. 100 to 2300.
Maybe maybe the people in the studio forgot to feed the audio into the transmitter. Well, I guess it's time. Is there anybody using the frequency besides us?
Natural born thing with that radio you got there. 73 will catch you. Kilo for November Whiskey Alpha. That's my call sign. Yeah, this is just A11 Ameritron. Just a 3-tuber. That's all I got. With 2 zeros, not 8. Just 2 B's.
Yeah, K4NWA, KR4IF. Yeah, I ain't doing but 900 watts right here. Got a little bit of headroom if I need to pump it up a little bit, but I haven't needed to yet tonight. Let's see how it goes. You're sounding good here, man. You're taking out everybody out there.
Really sucking today. Drug Trip Schreiber. Hello. Hello. Hey, Danny. Good evening. What kind of SDR and software are you using? And hello, everybody in the chat. That's what he's saying. This is the RSPdx SDRPlay RSPdx. This is SDR console version 3.4. I just updated this one. I believe it's 3.4. Where would I see that? I'd be under about version 3. Yeah, SDR console version 3.4. And my antenna is the MFJ-1886 receive loop antenna. And I have my antenna outside my backyard. I'm running about 75 feet of RG8X. Alrighty, and there you go. The conditions are horrible today. They're just horrible. I'm just gonna go down to the let me just go down to CHU. Let me see if I can even get CHU and it's horrible. It's just horrible right now. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. Wow. Anyway, top of the medium wave band. At this point, I'm not gonna bother with shortwave. Yeah, let's just medium wave. It sounds a lot better than this. Today is just horrible. Today conditions are really bad. Believe me, it is a lot. The other night sounded a lot better with the NFED. And unfortunately, the NFED right now, I have it with the other radio, but it's been like this the last couple of days. Even the NFED was very noisy lately. And, conditions haven't been that good, Doesn't sound.
네, 노래로 파시오네 들었습니다. 이 곡은 1930. I'm Vanessa Tyler. On New York.
由於星期四起，國會將會休會2星期。特朗普今日召集眾議院共和黨。
She was noticing in her daughters that they...
我朋友家里当家庭护理员呀。
總統。
That's the La Buena, right? Tesla, what is it called? La Buena. It's wild though, 1280, but I think they renamed they changed the format of the station to La Buena or something like that. I don't know.
De los dichos. Es no se case, ni se embarque, ni de la repegada. ¿Y qué dije yo, tú? No sé, amiga, pero amiga. Le dijiste tú. Mira.
That was a bit of a judgment, but I'm still not.
Oh, qué buena. Okay, qué buena. Anyway, qué buena. Qué buena. What's it? Que like la buena, I get it, but qué buena. Qué buena means like, you know, when you say qué lindo, you're putting emphasis on the word lindo, like. So it's like buena with an exclamation point. That's what que. When you put the word que in front of any word, like that, like instead of saying muy buena, que buena, you know, I guess they want to put buena with an exclamation point. That's the why they put the word que, because it doesn't make sense. I'm trying to translate it as best as I can. Like when you say que lindo, instead of saying muy lindo, or que linda, or muy linda, when they say que, they kind of like, kind of putting more little emphasis on the word buena. I mean, it's unique. I know I heard la buena. Yeah, and that's another thing. Exactly. Hello, T Radio 1972. Yeah, Univision named some of the stations with a regional Mexican format. Yeah, exactly. There's one for Chicago. Okay. Yeah, because I know Univision. Univision is Mexican type. Because when I growing up in the Bronx, my mother used to watch Channel 41. But this is before Univision. It was just independent. And then when Univision bought them out, it turned into like a Mexican Spanish. Before that, it was like, you know, very, very local Spanish, which is Puerto Rican, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, you know. But then when Univision bought them, they went full-blown Mexican. Like, you know. For example, like when it was independent, my mother would watch soap operas from Puerto Rico and Venezuela. Venezuela is a big popular they do a lot of soap operas too. But when Univision took over, it became Mexican. It's like literally it's like watching a Mexican station. That's what it turned into. Univision that's what Univision is. It's geared toward Mexican American. You know, even you know, like you know, so that's what that is. So that's why. So yeah. So even their music is like it's too Mexican for me. And I'm more of a salsa, merengue, which is Caribbean music, Cuban music, Dominican music, Puerto Rican music. But this is more Mexican, Central American, you know. I'm not into that music. Anyway, I decided to pass on the SI 4732 and order the CC Pocket. I have a CC Pocket. I like it. It's really nice. I do have a CC Pocket. I bought mine on Amazon. I bought mine from eBay. I remember I might have paid. I think I got it for like $30. $30. It was $30. It's in very good condition. It was a few years ago I got mine, and I take that one with me when I travel actually, just for the weather band. It's pretty good. Even it has no antenna, of course. It has no whip antenna. It has an internal antenna. I was still picking up weather band. Weather with the it has internal antenna. I know, of course, it has a ferrite, but I'm talking about like the weather, normal band. I never tried it with earbuds to see if that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. 1190, of course, is another one that they recently changed the format. Now it's called Éxitos. It's another one that's all music now. So it's another music station now. I don't want to get hit with no more copy. I got too many. All my live stream lately been copyright like crazy. Of course, I'm gonna get hit with copyright on this one, but it's okay. I'm not gonna. It's okay. So this one is another station now that is all music. This one, the LIB used to be, religious station and all that, but now it's all music, Spanish music, and you hear English music. And it's called Éxitos or Los Éxitos or something. Éxitos. I know it's Spanish. Éxitos. Éxitos means hits. So I guess it's all hits. You translate that. So you got a CC Pocket. I ordered it on Amazon the day before the price went up. Oh, okay. Todderberg talked about changes made to the CC Pocket from the original, and was interested in. Okay. Yeah, I got my CC Pocket for a while. Where is it at? It might be upstairs. Is it here? Let me see if I have it here. It might be in here somewhere. CC Pocket. No, I think it's upstairs. And I was meaning to bring it down. Yeah, I meaning to bring it down. I was meaning to bring it down actually. Anyway, I forgot about this one too. I gotta look into this one. I gotta play around with this one again. This is the P26. Yeah, I know. Well, it's gonna be like that for a bit. So I was looking at this one because I saw a video the other day. VW Westlife, what's his the guy, who I'm talking about. I believe this is the better version. They also have a P27, which is the DSP base one. So he said that this one is actually, I heard, because this one I did DX with this one. This is the P26, the ICF P26. So the P27 is the newer model of this one. And that one is the one with the DSP base and all that. Because he said that this one is analog. And that's what I was wondering, because when I took this one outside, I was DXing with this one. I bought this one from eBay. A couple of years or so, I bought this one on eBay. Yeah. So it's interesting. I didn't know that this one was oh yeah, I even left the battery. Shame on me. I left the batteries in here. Wow.
really doesn't scale super well with humans.
For every 340 people in the U.S., there is just one mental health clinician. Jacobson and his colleagues thought, since we can't manufacture more human therapists, why not train an AI bot in the best therapeutic practices?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one to the boiler room tonight.
Today, after 5 years of work, they published the results of the
Oh,
first
wow.
randomized clinical trial for an AI.
I left the batteries in here. And thank God that the batteries didn't blow up. Yeah, so he said that the 26. He said that, so this one, the 26 is analog. And there's a ICF-P27. The ICF-P27 is the newer model of this one. And that one is the DSP one. So this is the 26. So I'm like, I didn't know that. Like, I was wondering why this one was, you know, I was like, wow, pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. T radio. Unfortunately, with inflation and rising costs, C Crane radios raised the price of some of their radios. I guess Amazon, yeah, I know, but I don't want to get started with C Crane. Don't get me wrong, they're nice radios. It's just I always find them too expensive for me. I always find them a little too expensive, but. You know, the CC radio that I really would like to have is the CC Radio 3? It's the big one. It's the big one. The real big one. 27 is terrible. Okay. Yeah, that's what he said. He said 27 is the one with the DSP chip. This is the 26. I got this one maybe 3 years ago. About 3 years ago. I got this from eBay. I paid like I'm trying to remember, it was under $20. Was it around I know total I think it might have been, you know, with the shipping and everything, I think it came out to $20. I think I made an offer and we got it down to, I think it was like total was like $20 for this one. Something like that. That's the, you know, so it was like, okay, you know what, because, you know, I heard that this one is a pretty good little radio. Yeah. I had to throw out my P27 because the audio started crackling every time I would change the volume, and the crackling was really bad. Oh, wow. RRT08, and hello, I hope you're doing well, my friend. The great Sony, the 27 is terrible. Yeah, well, that's what he said. That's the one with the DSP. So I had to say, oh yeah, I got the 26. So, pretty cool. My CC Pocket is upstairs. I do like the CC Pocket though.
Who had this dream that inspired the story has been seen among her little girls at a very early age. Comparison speaking.
RRT08. I have both the vertical and the horizontal version. Yeah, I know, that's another thing. Yeah, you're right. There is this is of course the vertical. They do have a horizontal version, right? With the yeah, I heard of that too. I think I might have saw it somewhere. I was not sure, but yeah, horizontal. Okay, yeah. But I like this one. I like it because I like the pocket. You know, the fact, you know, this is considered a pocket radio. So that's why I like this one. Yeah. So you're passing on the 4732. Okay. See right here. I figured you was gonna get it sooner or later. I mean, the prices, yeah, it's nothing. It's like 20. I mean, if you have the donut antennas and all that, or you have the whip antenna, you can get it for. I mean, if you really look around, you can get it. I seen it for as low as, you know, I'm gonna say, because I have a coupon code I can use on AliExpress. I'm still an affiliate with AliExpress. I could get it down to like $22 for this radio. You know, just the radio. You know, remember I got this whole thing for $27.92. So that's this, plus tax. So so I mean, that's pretty cheap. And I just went to I tried version 1.1, and it was okay. It was glitchy, so I went back down to version 1.08. That's the one with the color screens. It's a fun little radio. But yeah, I mean, I mean, of course, the CC Pocket Radio is a way better radio. I mean, that's a DXer. That's a little DXer radio. That's a much better radio than this radio. Much better overall quality, and it's also pretty durable. It has that rubber around it. It has a rubber kind of like the CC Pocket has a rubber. You check on the side of the radio is rubber. It's built pretty tough. I mean, it's built like if you were to drop this CC Pocket, it's not gonna break so easily. It is built a little tough. So, yeah. RRTO is heat cream prices went up April 7. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's gonna be like that for a while. Some things are gonna go up, but you know what? It's now I don't want to get into it here because people acting like the sky is falling. People don't understand why he's doing this. They think it's just, I mean, already 70 countries are already ready to negotiate. For example, Israel. Israel said, and I was wondering about that. I said, why Israel's charging U.S. tariffs? Don't we send them all this money? So I guess the prime minister didn't know that. I don't believe that part. And he said, well, we're going to bring it down to zero, no tariff at all. I said, well, that's what a lot of countries should do. A lot of countries should just say, you know what? They shouldn't charge us a tariff, and we don't charge you a tariff. That's it. That's what he's doing. People act like the sky's falling. The market went down like 3,000. Today it went up again. Didn't it go up again today? And you know what? Like I'm an investor, so I know about this stuff. I know that markets are gonna go down. The slightest thing, slightest whatever, and then of course if you and that's what this on my other channel, Danny Finance, I would say that stop watching that stuff because it's just doom and gloom. If you watch that stuff every day, you're gonna sell your portfolio at a drop of a dime, and you're gonna panic sell. And I used the term panic sell years ago. Okay? That's what it's called, panic selling. I'm in it for long term. So even if it drops down another 5,000 points, I'm not going to sell. If anything, as the stock prices get cheaper, I may buy more companies because they're going to be cheaper price. When you're in it for long term, you don't care about these 1,000, 2,000 point drops. I'm looking at about 10, 15 years from now. Or even 20 years. My horizon. At least 10, 15 years. So yeah, I'm not worried about this stuff. But if you watch the news, they act like the sky is falling. The world's gonna end. Come on. When we had the pandemic, I remember March of 2020, the stock market dipped down to the Dow was at 19,000 at one time. And everybody was selling their stock, and my wife and I looked at us and they said, okay, this is a great opportunity to buy stocks, and we bought a lot of different stocks cheap, especially the ones that were like really taking a hit on the industry, like the cruise lines. We bought those stocks. They were cheap. They were super fucking cheap. All right, bargains, like Norwegian Cruise Line, American Airlines. Remember they weren't flying for a while. Nobody remember the empty planes. Remember we had like one passenger, two passengers on the whole plane because of COVID, and the airlines was bleeding, losing money. And yeah, I was buying Southwest Airline, Delta Airline, American Express. They were cheap. We're talking about like single digits per share. in some of them. And they bounce back. You know? While everybody's selling, I'm buying. Remember, that's how you make money. You buy low and you sell high. You don't sell. You don't. You don't sell. You don't sell when it's down to nothing. You don't sell. You're supposed to sell when it's high and you make your profit. You know. The thing is that he's doing it because it is over. That's why you can't watch that stuff. The only people that lost money are the hedge fund managers, because they had to for example, because they have margin call, so they had to sell to make up to pay the margin call. That's it. In other words, paper losses. They call that paper losses, by the way. So if you look at our 401k and all that, right now is a paper loss. But until you actually sell it, it's not a loss. Until you actually physically sell it. Say, you know what? Cash me out. I'm done. Then you lose. Remember, we survived the COVID thing. Remember, it's 2008 was the housing bubble thingy. Same thing. And then before that, you got to go back to 9/11. Remember, right after 9/11, the market tanked. And then in 2000, remember the dot-com bubble? The same thing. These are all different times in history that, if you stay in there and buy more, yeah, but a smart, well, not hedge funds. Well, they're hedging because they're hedging against it. I'm talking about just a portfolio manager, like a mutual fund manager. They're not selling. They're buying right now. They're buying. They're looking for stocks that are really took a beating, and they're ready to bounce back, and they buy those. Like, for example, and I agree with some of the reports. Like, for example, the AI stocks, like Nvidia, some of these AI stocks, they were overpriced anyway. They were way overpriced anyway. So they had to come down at some point. And they call this corrections, market correction or correction. That's all it is. People, that's why I say you can't watch all this stuff. You can't. No, yeah, 2020 was a tough one, but we were buying. My wife and I was buying. I was buying. I was buying, 'cause I knew they were going to bounce back. Oil stocks, some of them were single digits, and now, they're up there. Like I remember buying Sunoco. It was like $10 a share, Sunoco. Now it's like I forgot what last time I checked. It's like $50, $70 a share. I bought them when they were like $9 a share, because remember nobody was traveling. It plummeted. Everything plummeted. Anything that has to do with industry, transportation, anything that has to do with transportation, hospitality, they were taking a hit in 2020. You got to jump in there and snatch them up, and then you hold them. And then it was a V-shaped pattern. You know what a V-shaped pattern is? V-shape. It went down, and then all of a sudden it went right back up. That's a V-shaped pattern. And everybody thought he was crazy when he said that. He said, no, it's going to be a beautiful V-shaped pattern. And what happened? By the time March rolled around, then April, it was all suddenly everything was going up. It got to take off like a rocket ship, and it did. Went up. So that's why I don't pay attention to all this stuff. I don't. If you just like all these idiots protesting over the weekend, they're just idiots. They're idiots. They're just idiots. They're all having their temper tantrum. You know. Like, you know, people need to chill out, relax, relax. You know, seriously. Yeah. The overreaction makes the rest of Wall Street panic. Those that know, they're not panicking. We love stuff like this. I love it when it dips down to, you know, a certain number, because I was like, okay, let's see what we can pick up. You know, let's see what's cheap out there that, you know, we can buy. There's always opportunities. There's always opportunities. And I used to watch those channels in the years ago, but they're like every other media outlet. CNBC, you know, I remember when they had CNN Business. That was another channel. This is years ago. Of course, CNBC is another one. They always do that doom and gloom stuff. And the same thing with that guy on the radio, Joe Connolly. He's another guy that's always, every time that man talks, it's doom and gloom. He's Mr. Doom and Gloom, Joe Connolly. And I don't know why ABC hired him. But anyway, I listened to him, and oh God, he's the you know, what's her name? Debbie Downer. That's what he sounds like, Debbie Downer. Remember that Saturday Night Live skit? Is it Debbie Downer? That's him. That's Joe Connolly. Debbie Downer. I don't listen to those people. I just don't. You'll go nuts listening to those people. You won't go look for a job because he always saying, oh, the economy is so bad. You know, you have to do a video resume now because companies are not hiring you. Oh my God. You know, like that man is walking doom and gloom. Yeah. RTO8, Home Depot has 36 AA battery energized on sale for. Yeah, I need to stock up on some AA's. I'm running low on them. Because my battery case is getting kind of thin now. I get mine from Sam's Club. I go to Sam's Club. I get the Members Mark batteries. They're pretty good. So I think we're gonna go there tomorrow. Actually, we might go there tomorrow. So maybe I'll pick up a AA and maybe some AAA batteries too, because I'm running low on AAA batteries for my. But AA, yeah, that's the ones I need the most, the AA's. So I need to get a pack like that too. But that's a good price. $17 for his 36. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's what I have on this one, Energizer. Let me see. I opened it up. Let me see, Energizer. Let me see. Yeah, Energizer right there. Energizer Max. I forgot I left it on this radio. It's been like that for months. I left them here months ago. I forgot. Energizers. Yeah, I bet these head managers' jobs. I don't think so. I think, you know, but you know, you know, again, it goes back to what I keep saying. You can't get emotional. You can't get emotional. When you get emotional, like there's even people that was like so-called close to him. Oh, I can't believe he did that. He's tanking the economy. No, come on, man. You know, you gotta calm down, people. Calm down. Calm down. RTO8. I looked at my Schwab account. Prices didn't go as low as 2020. No, 2020 really dipped. But remember, right now, for example, the Dow, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I know it was before, you know, last a couple of weeks ago, we was hovering around 44,000. Now it went down to what, 36,000? What is it? Or something like that. 36,000 is still way above 2020. In 2020, we went down to 19,000. I remember it was 19,000 we went down at one point. So we're not even we're not even halfway down that price, that index, 19,000. I remember it went below 20,000, and we went around 19,000. I was like, wow. And that was a pandemic, and that happened like, well, I remember. You know, so, but we're nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. Yeah.
This isn't the right deal. You just need to walk away. And the deal goes to someone else, and you have to kind of know what makes sense for you. Just in terms of a price, but in terms of the amount of control and who you're partnering with and what you're willing to accept or not accept, and think long term about it from my perspective, if it's going to work out and you're going to be able to operate it, to become a success.
And so, Tom, we mentioned baseball and your experience there, and you guys talked about it a little bit. I do wonder, as someone who has this pretty broad portfolio in sports, it's like, do you guys think about, investing in different sports?
Now, if you looking to retire like the next year or so, yeah, it's gonna suck because you lost a little bit there. But if your horizon is like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, this is nothing. This is like a speed bump, basically. That's my wife. My wife is I'm 58. My wife is 46. So, okay, so it's a speed bump. It's just a speed bump. These things are gonna happen.
You're listening to The Deal with Alex Rodriguez and Jason Kelly, and you can hear the full conversation and more episodes by subscribing to
it's more complicated than that, but I don't want to get into here because it'd be really boring and all that. That's something I talk on my Danny Finance channel. Even crypto right now. Crypto is, a few months ago, remember, Bitcoin was 110,000. Now it's like hovering around 84,000. So it took a little hit because people are going to sell off. That happens with everything. When the price hits an all-time high, you're going to have people that are going to sell because they're going to make their profit. They're going to say, okay, we reached the tippy top of this price. Let's sell some of it, make some profit, and then wait till it dips again, and then we buy again and then bring it, buy, how you say, buy low, sell high, right? Exactly. So, for example, I remember last year, right? Chipotle was at $1,000 a share. And I kept saying, hey, Chipotle is not worth $1,000 a share. The company itself, that's way overvalued. But they did the smart thing. They split the stock. And they split it 50-1. So when they split the stock 50-1, that's when we bought. My wife and I, we bought some Chipotle stock. Because we like Chipotle. But not at $1,000 a share. No. I'm not getting no fractional. So we wait till the stock split, and it was a 50-1 split, and then we bought. I think we bought like 10 shares. I think we had like 10 shares of Chipotle or something like that. After the split. After the split, I think it went down to what 50. Oh man, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was. We're talking about like, Jesus Christ, I forgot the price. Anyway, it was a lot cheaper. So we want to get in like 10 shares. Now, if it goes up to, again, if it makes it run at that price, there you go. You see what I'm saying? And some stocks, split over time, like Tesla. Tesla, a few years ago, split. I think it split twice in 1 year. That's when we bought it, I remember when Tesla before it split, it was like $1,700 a share or something like that. Then they split, and then we bought it on that split, and then they split again, so we got more shares of it. And of course now, it's taking a hit because of whatever people. All of a sudden, people don't like them. That's it. Whatever. That's fine. But it's gonna go up. Believe me, it's gonna go up. you know, you can't. You can't get emotional. People get emotional. It's gonna happen. And some of it is for good reason. I mean, to be honest, I prefer. If people are gonna buy more American cars, then you know what? So be it. Why? This goes back. This goes back to NAFTA. NAFTA was a disaster. Even Reagan, man, NAFTA was a disaster. NAFTA was not supposed to be. When we trade with Canada, they're gonna hit us with tariffs, and we're not supposed to hit them back with tariffs. So now you finally have somebody that had the courage to say, you know what, we're gonna hit you with tariffs. And now they're gonna negotiate. Okay, well maybe we were wrong about the tariffs. Maybe we should bring it down to nothing. They're our neighbors to the north. Why can't they? Why we have to pay tariffs to sell our stuff up there? No, you know what? You waive your tariff, I'll waive mine. That's it. That's the way it should have been. I was shocked when Israel was charging tariffs all this time, and even the prime minister didn't know that. I was like, you didn't know that you guys were charging Americans 17%? Doesn't the other person that was complains about every time he buys something from the United States is always hitting him with a tax? That's Canada. Canada's been doing that for years. People act like they're surprised about this stuff. Same thing when I order stuff from Europe. I get hit with a VAT tax. VAT. That's why I never bought a Wellbrook, by the way. I never bought a... Well, you know why I didn't buy a Wellbrook? Because it would have cost me $500 with the VAT included and everything. Not only the exchange rate, right? USA to British pounds, US dollar to British pound, but they were gonna hit me with a huge tax. I did the math. It would have came out to like $500+ to get a Wellbrook. Buy it over there and bring it in, and should they ship it here? I was not gonna do that. I said, nah, I'm not doing that. Right now I have the MFJ. This is the MFJ loop. Okay.
Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location.
And this was $250. What it was? $250 when I bought this one. It was $50 shipping though. The shipping was kind of steep for the MFJ loop because it came in a big box. It was this aluminum loop antenna. But the Wellbrook was $500. Was twice the cost of this one. Of this loop. Okay. But a lot of it was the VAT. And there's no way. I said, you know how much stuff I wanted to buy from Europe? And I just said, you know what? No way I'm buying stuff from Europe. And it's just been going on for years. Maybe they need to get rid of the VAT. And same thing with Canada. I know Canadians always complain that when they buy something from outside Canada, they get hit with a big tax. Well, that sucks. Well, you got nobody to blame but your own government for that. Right? Your own government is the one that's making it harder for you to buy stuff out of, So, people act like he's doing that. No, it's been going on for years. These ridiculous taxes. These ridiculous VAT. Because that's what they call it in Europe. VAT tax. That's all tariff. I went to Canada once, and we went over the bridge. I went into Niagara Falls, Ontario, and it says it right there. When you buy stuff from Canada, and there's certain things you can bring back, and you don't got to pay a tax on. Duty free, they call it duty free. But there's some things that if you buy in Canada and you try to bring it back to America on the border crossing, they're gonna hit you with a tax. And it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be that way. It should be like, you know what? We're neighbors. We should trade freely. You know? We're subsidizing you guys. Why are you charging us taxes? We're subsidizing your defense. Again. But people don't understand that. People are so focused on TDS. They're too emotional. And that is the bottom line. It's about money. That's it. If you're my neighbor, why are you charging me tax? So it's only fair. Okay, well, you're going to charge me tax. Well, I'm going to charge you a tax. Seems fair. Other channels say it all the time. I don't buy nothing from because I'm going to get hit with a tax. Well, blame your own government for that. Don't blame my government. Blame your government for that. That's your government. That's your government's fault. Not my government. That's your government. If you buy something from Amazon, you buy a radio, like for example, this radio, in your country, you're going to have to pay double the price for this radio because you live in that country. That's not this country's fault. That's your country's fault. I know the truth hurts, people, but that's the truth. That is the truth.
Bankruptcy could mean for millions of consumers' data. In 2006,
people don't tell you that. People don't want to tell you the truth. People want to call me an imbecile because I voted for the man.
Remember the way he was discussed, right? And the pressure that was on him here in New York City, and the highs and lows of his career, like
draft class.
Come on, all of that. So it's really cool. He's so well deserving. He's been so gracious of it all, and he continues to say how.
1040. Wow. Let me see, 1030. Well, 1030. I mean, 1060. Excuse me, I said 1030. 1060. Yeah, 1060 is. Anyway, 1040. I can hear it. Wow. I can hear it as WHO. Wow. What time was 7:48. Wow. I mean, well, that antenna is pointing east to west, so that's the loop antenna. That's the MFJ-1886 loop, so it's pretty impressive.
Forever. Barbara Lasucci is a 1986 grad.
A special tiny little place in the Bronx where you feel like a family.
The Board of Trustees cited low enrollment numbers as one reason for closing. Teacher and alumni Caroline Ozdemir says,
our classes are full. I teach like 98 freshmen.
Zule Martinez is a freshman.
Yeah. So Chuck asked me about the SDR. Yeah, this is the RSPdx. I know this one now, the price dropped on this one because they came out with a new one a few months back. I think it's the RSPdx R2 or something like that. Of course, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying another SDR from them. I'm done with them. I like the RSPdx. If I ever gonna purchase another SDR, I'll probably break the bank and get an ELAD. That'll probably be the next one. I do like the AirSpy HF Plus Discovery. That is a nice SDR tool. And that one, I think right now it goes for about $160 or so. And that one goes up to VHF. It goes, it only has one antenna port, of course. And that one is a lot smaller than this one. Let me show you this. That's the RSPdx right there. That one, of course, has 3 ports, 3 antenna ports. The HF Plus Discovery is only 1, and so that one goes up to VHF. 300 megahertz, I believe, is the top of the. So it goes up to VHF, and that's it. It doesn't do UHF. This one, RSPdx, goes up to 2 gigahertz UHF. So it's from 10 kilohertz up to 2 gigahertz. The RSPdx. So you have these antenna ports here. Let me put it. Sorry, I got it on the tripod. So this is all bands, all band. Port C only goes up to 2 megahertz. Okay, so this one only goes up to 2 megahertz, I believe, if I remember. Because this one is enhanced. This one is, so if you want to do like VLF, long wave, medium wave DXing, 160 meter band, and then antenna C. That's the one with the BNC. That's the one that's enhanced. Is also HDR. They call HDR, high dynamic range or something like that. So that one is more sensitive to those bands. So for example, if I were going to do some VLF, or medium wave DXing, right now I'm using antenna port A. So even this port is not really the best for medium wave DXing. I will switch it to the BNC one. Antenna port C right here. I will use this port, the BNC one, and then that one. So I will have to hook up my antenna to BNC, and that one it will be more enhanced. It will be more sensitive to anything below 2 megahertz. So that's why I like the RSPdx. It is a nice SDR for medium wave DXing, VLF, long wave. Also the HF Plus Discovery. I heard VLF on that one. Like the atomic clock on 60 kilohertz, WWVB, and this one also. Those are the only 2 SDRs that I heard the atomic clock. The original RSP one also, I heard the atomic clock on that one. 60 kilohertz. I have not heard it recently because it's right now it's a lot of noise now, so I can't listen to that. And plus, I think I know they had issues with their transmitter a couple of years ago, and I think they're also transmitting at reduced power. So it's kind of harder to. Yeah, actually, I haven't heard them. I can't pick them up. The last couple of years now, I can't. So I don't know that I'm ever going to hear them again, but I don't pick them up now.
Level. Elon Musk ripped into the president's top trade advisor, calling Peter Navarro a moron and bricks.
On AM 970, The Answer.
But
once again, from New York, here's Radio Night Live and Kevin McCullough.
Okay, one more time. I forgot to tell you this in the last segment. Go to am970theanswer.com/travel and sign up for the new travel newsletter that Linda and I will be sending you. Just little tips, just little tidbits. We're not going to spam your inbox. We're just going to give you fun stuff to look at. All right, for the Perillo pointers.
700 behind that 7. If you believe God for 7,000 beyond that 7. If you believe God for 70,000.
Numa, can the tiny radio receive any of these stations? Yeah, I can pick up all these stations that you're hearing now. Not with this antenna. Indoors, no. Not with this antenna. I will have to hook this up with an MFJ, with an external antenna like a MLA 30, or I haven't tried it with this one, the MFJ-1886, but I have scanned with the MLA 30, and I was able to listen to all these stations no problem. Outside though, I took this radio outside in my backyard with this antenna. I was able to pick up WHO, which is 1040 kilohertz. And that station is located 1,600 kilometers away from here. And this radio picked it up with this antenna. So it can pick up distant stations. It can. Because I did it. And with this antenna, I went ahead and ordered the antenna set, the one with the medium wave antenna, because that one you can fine tune better. See, this was a broadband one. This is broadband. See, it's broadband. But I went ahead and ordered the other ones. So I want to try this one with a more medium wave specific antenna to see if I can get that signal even better. But this one picked it up. This little loop picked it up outside. So, but indoors, this loop, you know, I could pick up like the major stations, you know, the real, but indoors it's just too noisy for this antenna. But outside it works better. It works better outside. Because, you know, this radio too is susceptible to you know, this radio is not, you know, it's a 3D printed case. It's not, you know, it has some shielding on it inside when you take it out, you know, when you open it up, you see it. But, you know, it's susceptible to the noise in especially here in this room. But even in the boiler room. Now, if I hook this up to an external, then I'm good. You know, I done band scan with this, with an external. I even picked up, well, I haven't confirmed it, but I know I picked up, well, I haven't confirmed it. I believe it was Mexico. Medium wave station from Mexico. MyRadioDex says it is. I couldn't find anything on it. But it definitely, but I couldn't get the call. I couldn't get the call sign because it faded away. At the top of it, I was just faded away. It was a Mexican medium wave station. And it was this one with the MFJ. I mean, it was this one with the MLA 30. MLA 30 antenna, loop antenna. And so that would have been a nice catch all the way from Mexico into Yonkers, New York. That's wow. That's what? 3,000 kilometers. At least 3,000 kilometers. And it was coming in pretty good for a few minutes. And then it faded away right before the top of the hour. I was like, what? You know, I was doing a band scan overnight. It was an overnight band scan. And MyRadioDex was he was up because he's 6 hours ahead of me. So it was morning time over there for him, and it was like 3 in the morning over here. It was around 3 in the morning over here, and he's telling me that's Mexico. That is Mexico. I was like, I'm not sure, and I looked up, and every format was not Spanish on radio locator. It was everything was English, religious, and I couldn't find anything Spanish. And I was like, what the hell? And then I went to medium wave list, and he was confirming with me. I wasn't sure. I was like, and the music it does sound Mexican. It was Tejano music, Mexican music. So I definitely knew it was Mexican music. And by the way, he also knows Spanish. And so we was like, but I couldn't confirm it. But this radio is it's very good on medium wave too. And shortwave, it's pretty good too. It's pretty good. Of course, I didn't hear Radio New Zealand Pacific that night. But I think that's because conditions were not the best. But I'm going to try again with this radio. Probably by the next couple of nights or so, I'll try again. I'm just waiting for the other antennas to arrive here. So, Numa, I have this tiny radio and a simple stick antenna works. Yeah, it works fine. in the blue ring. I know I was skeptical about this ring antenna. Another radio that I have is the TF6686 radio. This antenna actually works better there. It actually works better there. That's why I went ahead and bought the set, because I want to try that radio. I want to try those antennas, not only with this radio, but I want to try with the. I have a MLA hit. I have a MLA hit radio. I want to try with that one, and I also want to try with the TF6686. All right. Hello, Luna, Loud, Poppy, Prescott, Gregory, Godoy. Hope you're doing well. Let me keep tuning down. There's not much going on today. Shortwave bands were horrible.
759-800-6540. Pump fake and a fall away at the dotted line. Misses short. Tipped away from Pritchard by McBride. Gets on the deck for it. Tied up with Tatum, and the referee's letting him sort it out.
I'm just going to finish the band.
It will be a jump ball.
I've already been on for 2 hours and 26 minutes. So have a good night to you, and thank you for stopping by.
Is left in this quarter. We'll have to see the hustle from Deuce.
We have dozens of people dead. Some of the people were communicating through mobile phones. Outside, we have hundreds of people. They have the army.
Dentist Margaret Lockery worries about what would happen if water was no longer fluorinated.
I would anticipate that emergency room visits would go up, and it would just increase the overall dental decay rate in our population.
Kennedy says that he'll be reconvening a task force to review the health effects of fluoride. The Restore Roosevelt Avenue Coalition.
Yeah, Zoomer Radio is just a carrier right now.
His lawsuit to try and keep the money is similar to another lawsuit filed in February to try to hold on to more than $80 million that the Trump administration is trying to take back in federal funds.
Remember, having a Coors Light with
you're on a night.
SDRPlay has always been the community's best resource for all.
WSNR.
With 200 licensed mental health professionals in Williamsburg, Borough Park, and Kensington, SDRPlay offers the highest quality
areas in our metro region there here that qualify for it. What it does is it allows you to get.
That's WMCA 570, and yeah, the P27. Yeah, yeah, I have the P26. This is the P26. This is the one I have. P26. Yeah.
It's something that you can really take advantage of.
Let me see if I can pick up anything on longwave. We're out for the longwave band. Nothing on the longwave band. I don't pick up. I'm using the MFJ-1886 loop. I'm getting all this now, 60 kilohertz. This was messing me up now. I don't know what the hell this is, but I can no longer hear the WWVB. Nothing. Not even a submarine transmission on Cutler, Maine. Not even submarines. The submarine, Cutler, Maine. I can't even get that anymore. Maybe with the U-loop I could have done it. Maybe the U-loop I probably would have got the 20 because right now the North was a little too high. For me to pick up the submarine transmission, I have to, you see right now it's on S4, the North 4. It will have to be at least S1 or S2. For WWV, it will have to be S1. So right now, this antenna, I can't, the U-loop probably could do it. Because right now, of course, this antenna is amplified. So maybe I'll do a band scan with the U-loop in the future. I'll do one with the U-loop only. The problem with the U-loop is that it's not that good on shortwave. It's because it's a passive loop. It's not that good. It's okay. It's not that good. You know, it's like not even. It's about. I wouldn't even say above average. Average. It'll just pick up the strong shortwave broadcast, things like that. But when it goes down to this range, that's where the U loop is better for the you know, long wave and all that. All right. So anyway, so I'm gonna sign off now. Just want to say thank you everybody for watching. I've been up for 2 hours and 33 minutes, and I'm gonna call it a night. Let me read another comment here. I picked up one at Walmart. Digital tuner is nothing like the. Yeah, I know the 26 is the. I didn't know that. I was watching a video the other day. Was it WV Westlife? He was talking about it the other day. He made a video on it because he was talking about transistor radios and all that. So when he took out this one, the 26. He said, so this is the one I had, the 26. So I didn't know that the 27 was the one with the DSP. Or the crappy one. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off now. Everybody, thank you for watching. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.